Today we're going to look at $1 million businesses versus $100 million businesses. Here's how the game works. We're going to play a little game. We take questions from our audience, and you guys have to guess where the audience is, where they are on their journey. Whoever asked this question, are they at $1 million? Are they at 10? Are they 50? Are they at 50?
They at 50?
Yeah. Just so you guys, so people watching.
They at 50, boy.
They at that 50. 50 mil, 100 mil, where are they at?
Where you at, boy?
Just so everybody knows who this is, the robot person over there with the Buc-ee's hat talking in the Southern accent, you should just commit to that for the whole show now. That's Nick Shackelford, partner and head of retention at Breeze Energy Drink and Infused Drink. Now I'm drinking a Flow, dude. That's how I know it's
flowing, dude. You're flowing.
So at Breeze, very fast growing beverage company. Bart Sinofsky from Dad Gang. I'm John Coyle. I am the VP of marketing at Royo. All of our brands do well into the 8 figures, headed toward 9 figures. So that's who we are. 100.
That's really cool.
120, 150 million in combined revenue between the 3 brands, I think, probably.
It'd be cool to get a briefcase just with that sitting right there.
Or just put that much cash on the table.
Yeah.
I don't even
In
just
ones.
Prompt that to the beginning of the episode.
In ones, dude.
at all time. It just starts stacking like little by little. All of these.
You can't even see us. We're just behind this wall of ones.
It is a nice thing to be involved with this level or this stage of brand because a lot of things are really applicable to us and a lot of things are not applicable to us.
Yep.
So I'm listening to a bunch of podcasts. Like I like the operators and the scalability school and common thread stuff. And we're kind of in the middle.
There's actually, I'm glad, dude. What a segue. Did you read my document?
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay. First question is, who are the content creators, blogs, podcasts, etc.?
Oh, no way.
Dialed in.
I know.
Your boy is dialed.
Dialed in. It's because you're drinking that. Not even one of yours.
Nope.
Not even one of your
Spread the
brands.
love.
Yeah, damn, I'm the only one without a beverage.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris.
The perfect buyer is a perfect seller.
Shout out to Chris, who I'm manifesting now is coming on our podcast soon.
Deal.
Right? Who are the content creators, blogs, podcasts, etc. that you all follow and listen to? I have a hard time knowing who's legit and who's just a guru who makes more money telling people how to do it than actually doing it. All right. Before we answer the question, what level you think this person's at?
I would similar to us. I think
You
you're
think
in the
he's in
middle.
the same-
I think you're either
he or she is in the
just
same-
they are just starting, finding some success, or kind of in scale mode.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna say I've got a little bit of a hot take here. I said this the other day on a consulting call. I said at some point the person you follow will sort of either fail you or abandon you. Either they'll sell out and they'll do a Ty Lopez move, right? And they'll
Go full info.
do something dumb, right? Or their information, at one point, the stuff they said was incredibly helpful to you. And that's who the stuff they say is super helpful to that audience. And then you used all the stuff they said and it worked really well for you. And then you leveled up and you got, and now the stuff that they're saying is you've already got that down.
Yeah.
You already do that really well. And so the stuff that they say is that's for that audience. You're beyond that now. And that's, I think, where it gets really hard. And yeah, to your point, I think that this person could be anywhere. What do you think, Bart? Where do you think they are?
So we're answering where this person is.
Where do you think they are? And then
we'll answer.
Where do you think they are? And then we'll answer the question. Yeah.
Probably not even in the 6 figures.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For that.
Or 6 maybe, but I don't know. I feel like when you're asking those type of questions, it's
you're like, who should I follow? Do you guys
you're
like
just
that
looking for
have you
more
seen that
advice
Tony
givers.
Robbins guy? Yeah.
yeah.
It's because of how they worded it. I don't know who is fake and makes more money teaching than telling. By the time you get to scale, you can sniff that out.
Yeah.
So I do think this person is early on, just starting.
No offense.
Yeah,
if they're
early
killing
days.
it and just looking for new content, then.
But I love that. I love that they're like, okay, well, I'm getting all this content. Who's actually good to follow? So let's talk about that. I mean, if they're early stage, who do you think is good?
I'll answer talking about where I'm getting my information because I think
let's
about this
let's
a
start
lot.
there. That's what they asked. Yeah.
I listened to, unfortunately, Zach Stock. No matter what.
No
people say.
way, dude.
I unfortunately listened to this guy.
Okay.
I listened to Jordan Menard and I listened to Brandon Monahan at the Goffy guys, as well as Ben Smith, who's involved with Zach. So the unfortunate part,
you listen to peers.
The unfortunate part is all these are they're not really on. So what happens is I'll tweet something, somebody will tweet something, and you basically send it to them, and you're like, "What did you mean by this?" Mm-hmm. And then you have the discussion because I'm not going to go give context on Twitter. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop my thoughts and expressions of what I'm thinking, doing, acting on. But the ones I'm having conversation with, they're sending it back and bro, you meant this? What did that mean?
Yeah.
So most of the conversations are happening in DMs. Who I'm listening to, you listen to service providers knowing that they're trying to sell their service because these guys are masters of what they're selling.
Yes.
But the context is like, take what they're having to say, knowing that they have a sell on the back of it, and get as much as you can until you hit that line of like, I'm being sold.
Yeah, I think that people are like,
don't take that approach.
They're selling to me. How do I know to listen to them? And I'm like, okay, if you're in e-commerce, a very good person to listen to at a certain stage is Taylor Holiday.
Yeah.
And he has something to sell you.
And you're like, I get it.
And that's
I get it.
That's fun. But he still has a ton of value he puts out there.
Oh God.
And like Nick Shackelford, at some point, he wants to sell you some breeze.
Yeah. At some point, I want to get you high. Like,
But you also have an agency. You have a creative thing. You have a event. You have some events that you're involved with.
sure.
It's like, yeah, but like in order to attract, you're putting out value, and part of it is that like if the stuff that you put out for, let's say, like people who are in the beginner phase, right? If it's not good and they can't use it to get past the beginner phase, they can't afford your shit anyway.
This is the. I mean, this means a lot to me. So this question is super important. I think there's a list of people that I'm not going to just ramble off on this, but I will put this together because this is a very important question. People share this all the time.
Yeah.
There's areas of the business that are important to you. You have acquisition, you have retention, you have the tech stack, you have operations, and you have to find one or two people to subscribe to in these areas.
Yeah.
Only, whether they're right or wrong, but for you to form the opinion towards them.
Yep.
And then if you agree or disagree, that's how you want to run and operate your business. And then you shift and rotate them out. But you have to shift the consumption of who you're listening to pretty frequently. I look at it on a quarterly basis. I do this from a podcast level. I'm very into right now what's happening macroeconomically. I'm taking a Democratic approach. I'm taking a Republican approach.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn.
Right.
But I'm going to rotate out of this at the end of this quarter because it's too much and it's on to the new thing. I think we need to take that approach to the business growth.
I like that. I don't know if do you have thoughts here? Do you listen to anybody, or do you just kind of like do your thing?
I like open residency. Mark's thing is really good.
Yeah, open residency is great. Nick was on there.
What is it? Oren, one of his guests. That guy
Oren's
makes
a great follow for creative and brand.
Yeah,
marketing.
he makes really good marketing content.
Oren Meets World. We can shout him out. Yeah, Oren Meets World. Yeah.
And then I like Herman for on Twitter for like, he mainly talks about Facebook outages and stuff, but he I know the guy.
I call him the thermometer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's good. Barry's good for like ad creative.
We're going deep on like D2C.
But that's the thing is like you literally said I follow this person for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And they're
That's how
cool
it should be.
people at the same time,
Yeah.
like it's nice that they're good people too. But I like, and then gosh, I don't know his name, but he's also like some of these Instagram marketers are popping up, like people that just make content around marketing, but they're not, it's not a podcast or anything. It's just like straightforward green screen stuff. So
that's
like
Oren Meets World or Ashwin.
And then the guy that's like the former Nike dude who is always just talking about like current moves in the industry.
He's in that space too. Jordan
Rogers is his name, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him, I don't know. That's like mainly the podcast.
Are you like interested in like marketing right now? Because everybody you dropped makes bomb content for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and branding. It's like
agree, but like
aesthetics.
is that what like your flavor?
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
you're into right now?
I want to build like an
That's what you're
important,
trying to
impactful
get-
brand.
Yep.
And those guys touch on marketing and branding at the same time.
I would
Yeah.
never say that these guys are tactical, or at least not
No.
sharing tactically.
No, we'll save that for ops,
Yep.
Okay.
which is EJ.
Here's my here's my take on this is that I think when you're in a beginner phase, you are learning a lot, and the biggest thing you need to do is figure out exactly what this person said. Who's making a bulk of their money doing the thing that you said that you want to do? All right, so we're talking about a lot of e-commerce creators. I will say for general like business.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna push back on that, dude. It doesn't. You can still the people that are selling you this stuff are usually really good at or better than you at that thing.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, no.
So,
What you said
what
earlier.
What I
where
need
it's
them
like,
to know is like it is okay if you know that there's a sell on the back of this.
yes.
Take the information, ask the questions very publicly.
Yep.
So that's just my macro thing. You're gonna go into like who to actually follow, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give.
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
give kind of a short list at different levels. So, I think Alex Hormozi is good all the way until you get to about maybe 30, 40 million a year. Then most of his content is kind of not applicable, right? Or he probably would be still good. Like you could go to one of his workshops or something like that at that level, and he'd probably give you good information and advice. But in terms of business wisdom, very, very good. Broadly applicable. Like, and a lot of people hate him because he's bro or whatever, but I'm like, just listen to what he has to say about business.
This is nose strips.
Yeah, nose strips guy, you know, like he looks very bro-y, but just listen to what he has to say about business. And it is very like, he's good at breaking things down very simply, right? So I like him. I like, depending on what kind of, like if we're going e-commerce here, then it's like people per thing, like you said. So for creative strategy, I think Dara Denney is very good.
Huge shout out.
Barry Hott is very good for creative strategy as well.
Alex Cooper.
Alex Cooper, like Color Daddy Alex Cooper?
No, I wish. Alex Cooper, he's an accented foreigner who has great AI creative.
Yeah.
That's a subset of that creative.
Yeah. So they talk more about like the process around creative strategy, sharing good ads. Jess Bachman from Fireteam. Those are all more Twitter followers. Dara is everywhere though. She's on YouTube and she's everywhere. But all the other people I just said are more like Twitter followers or X. For like TikTok shop stuff, you got good recommendations for that. Like if you're early stage and you're heavy TikTok shop, if you're on the creator side, actually Rob the Bank's pretty good. As douchey as he looks, I'm saying the douchey people who actually have good information.
He agree. Again, if you listen just to the message, and not like read into all the extracurricular,
yeah, and even if you're building on the brand side on TikTok shop, Rob the Bank's pretty good. There's another guy for if you're building a brand on TikTok shop named Ryan Maya. Who has a couple TikTok shop brands. If you look him up on YouTube, he's got some good YouTube videos on it.
Huge.
So yeah, and that's TikTok shop. Meta ads, I, at this point in time, don't listen to anybody. Who would you listen to if you were early stage on meta ads right now? I would listen to me, or I would listen to maybe David. I don't know. Who would you listen to?
This is hard.
This is the hardest one.
I just go to people.
This
I just
is our
don't
core
even listen to.
I know, but if you're a beginner, you don't have that access.
You don't have that access.
So this is hard because this is our core competency. So we don't listen to anybody on this.
So I'm hosting a debate on Friday between two prominent media.
You're going to be here on Friday.
Yeah, we're going to be live, live streaming that. I listened. So this is the issue with Meta now, is that I do think it's easier, and most of it is most of the alpha is creative. So I'm listening to creative op,
creative strategy, and people who put up good creatives and creative. Sarah Levenger for creative psychology.
Agree.
Creative strategy with like Dara Denney. She's like good at like organizing creative systems. Sarah Levenger for creative psychology, and then a couple other people like Jess from Fireteam and Barry Hott.
Structurally, like Basin Littlejohn.
Yeah.
I think Nick Theriot has some stuff that he produces consistently. Those are two Twitter and YouTube guys.
Yeah. So Nick Theriot on YouTube, I will say at Structured, I would always know when I was consulting, or not Structured, at Triple Whale, I would always know when I was consulting somebody who learned from Nick Theriot. And generally speaking, the ad account would be performing decently.
Yeah. So there's good frameworks there. Right?
Yeah. Decent framework, solid frameworks.
That's what I feel like. If you have a couple playbooks, this is funny because at the beginning of the game, you try to come with theme, like the shotgun method. Like Tim Bird had names for things.
Yep.
And even now there's still playbooks that people need to start with.
Yeah.
And to execute against. There's a guy named Sean and Spencer. They have one of the largest growing like communities on WAP. And I think that those guys teach us a methodology of dropshipping growth and media buying.
Yeah.
That like clearly is replicatable, but that's a certain type of person that's taking that type of stuff.
Yeah.
People would even go as far as saying Alex, I'm going to blank on his name. He's from Ukraine. He's in Miami. Alex Fedotov.
Yep.
He's got incredible curriculum, right? It's like there's like, there are different people that you're being sold into a course and ongoing.
Yeah. I know a couple guys in the, that learned from the Kill Crew dudes, and they built great brands.
100%. These guys are, they don't even, you don't even know that these guys have that.
Yeah. Like Spencer from Dabbling Duck. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
He like makes cool hunting gear, kind of more like streetwear-esque.
He came up on that Kill
He
Crew.
learned from Colt and those guys, and like just kills it.
I'll tell you, everybody, my number one source when I first got started was Digital Marketer.
Oh, of course.
Digital Marketer has
Molly and Ezra's.
Yeah. And so I would actually say Molly and Ezra's current company, which is called
Smart
Marketer, probably not a bad source. And
it's safe.
And I would say Digital Marketer is still a good source as well. So yeah, those would be where I'd go if I were a beginner. What about if you're next stage, like our level? This is where I think it gets dangerous, because trying to follow somebody too many steps ahead of you is not a good move.
No, dude. Okay. This is when the beauty of consulting platforms are emerging. This is where hey man, I need to book a reoccurring situation with you because I got to explain my context situation,
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, and then I just want to go back and forth on thought work. This is when you need thought partners.
Yep.
And this is the benefit of consulting and sometimes having an agency on execution, because there is no crazy strategy hack alpha as much as there was before, but there is very clear ways of getting to the answer that you want
Yeah.
in an ad account.
Yeah. If you're at 5 million or more in revenue and you are looking for like, who should I listen to? What content should I consume? I would say the first thing that you should do is you should identify the biggest problem or constraint in the business. And then you should just go to like a platform like Intro or Mentor Pass or something like that. And
Go
just
to them.
hire a consultant who can help you with that problem. And if you can't identify the biggest problem in the business, find somebody on one of those platforms who can help you identify it.
Good. That's start there.
Yeah.
Because we do this for retention, like in subscription, we have ongoing revolving consultants to be like, what am I not? Dude, just come.
what am I
tell me,
missing?
what am I not seeing?
Yeah.
You need someone to gut check you in the ad account and in your like subscription portal and all the things. I think.
And then for your content diet, I would say it's more about your content diet at that point really should be like specific to whatever problem you're having. Like right now, the thing you're always trying to work on is building a very meaningful brand. So you're just taking input. Your content diet is just inputs. It's just inputs, inputs, inputs. You're not trying to solve a specific problem with your content diet. You're just inputs, 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 so that you have this brain catalog of information about building a really good brand. So that's what your content diet should look like once you get some scale, is just like, what is the thing that you just want to take in a bunch of inputs around? That's why I said Hormozi is pretty good all the way up to a certain point, because like a lot of what listening to him will do is make you very clear on things, right? Like you'll be very good at like clear thinking, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people who are higher level do like Diary of a CEO. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I actually really respect what he's done. I just think the topics to me are not that interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is it's more just like, what are the inputs that help you think right? You know, what is the thing that like takes your brain and makes it uncluttered, or makes it like focused on the right thing, or makes it so that you have a back catalog of information where if somebody brings something up to you about the brand, you go, oh yeah, that actually makes me think about this thing I saw, you know, that, and that helps you solve a problem when you're going back and forth with somebody. That's what you're looking for once you've got some escape velocity on content, I think. And it could be mindset stuff. It could be Tony Robbins. Could be comedy if you just like, I need to make sure that I'm not thinking about this sometimes. It could be anything really, I think.
I find myself, do you guys ever talk to or try to do some thought work with GPT at all?
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yes, and it both frustrates me and I think it's good.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I like the other day I was working on my email journeys and I just kind of like, I had just a feeling. It was just a vibe of like, I think these could improve a little bit on like, it was like abandoned checkout or something. And I had put in like exactly what I have into ChatGPT. Like, here's the first one, second, third, here's the message. Out of this like email flow, what would you improve? And I'm not going to like instantly just do exactly what it says, but it gives you new thoughts around it. And then maybe you can construct a conclusion from that.
Yeah,
and
even
with like media buying, you can put in your numbers into ChatGPT and tell them what kind of campaigns you're running, and it'll give you a general read. And then from that, you can act or not. But I think, I use that a lot nowadays just for some quick advice.
Dude, this has been, I was like going through Q4 planning of like, what realistically, here's the offer I want to run. Can you pull me like a deep analysis of total revenue of last year from a deeper search around e-commerce shopping? And it was like, oh, here's your things. You're like, oh, all right, well, this makes sense. I can apply it to mine. I think that's a great place to start.
Sidekick too.
Yeah,
within Shopify.
That is a great tool
in
itself.
I like stuff like, you know, AI tools that know your data. Those are good. Like, but I also, in terms of using ChatGPT, I like it for clarifying my own thoughts. So I'll prompt it to ask me questions.
Tell me I'm right.
Yeah.
How right am I?
Or I'll prompt it to like, pretend you're Jordan Peterson and you disagree with me on this, or you pretend you're, whatever, some debater and you disagree with me on this. You know, what would you say? Or like, you know, I have this general thought, like I want you to ask me questions to clarify. I don't want you to like just do it for me, because it is very eager. I always say ChatGPT, when you're trying to do thought work with it, it's kind of like Hermione Granger. It's just like, Do you know that reference, Harry Potter?
No, I do. I know the reference, but how are you
it's just like,
applying it?
I know.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
ChatGPT is kind of like that. Like, ooh, let me help you. Yeah. And you're like, sometimes you're just like, no. I just need you to help me clarify this. Right. So I like that prompt is like, ask me questions to force me to like get more clear on this.
Yeah.
Fan of that. There's a lot of email providers. I think in the D2C space, we definitely have a preference of email provider. You are against the grain, man. You're just a man alone. You're a light spot in a sea of darkness. Choosing Attentive for your email. Why are you choosing Attentive for your email?
Yeah, I've always used different platforms. Years past, I've been in D2C for 12, 15 years. I've used other platforms. And then when SMS marketing got a little more popular or started bubbling up, Attentive was kind of there a little earlier than most people on the SMS side. And then I was using other platforms for email, but Attentive was always really, really good at SMS, as far as deliverability, building out segments, being great overall at getting your message across and sending great campaigns. So once they introduced email, I was a little bit hesitant because I was like, oh, this is just my SMS platform. Like they can't be good at two things. And so it was kind of a simple assumption there.
One tool for one job.
Yeah. And so from there, I was on another platform, but just started talking to a good friend that I trust a lot with just everything retention. And she was mentioning that they're like, no, Bart, you need to get here. Like they know what they're doing over here with email too. So I explored a little bit more while being an SMS customer. And then my main thing around switching, which is like so me because I like to keep design simple. I've tried other platforms for email and I didn't want to complicate the actual like campaign design process. Some platforms you jump in and it'd be actually really tough to just pick and pop and design out your email. And so I saw that they were fine there. They preached deliverability and then it was super, super easy to build segments. And then the like final kicker that got me to transfer was, hey, you could do your email and SMS all in the same place, which was like, it was a good selling point at first. But I was like, I don't want to do things in one place if the email part of it is not that great.
Yeah.
So I started slowly exploring with it while having another platform, and I just loved the way it was so easy and fast to actually design out the emails and test deliverability. Deliverability was great, and it helped to kind of like bundle and save and have both of your channels in the same place. So now when I hop on and I, design a campaign out for the day, I could just do it all in one spot without having to like log into a different platform and open all over the place.
How do you juggle more than one high value opportunity? As I've become more successful, I
Master
don't.
juggler over here.
I just drop balls. That's how I do it. As I've become more successful, I've gotten more opportunities. I have more money to start businesses. I have more people approaching me wanting to partner with me. How do you manage all this? What level you think this person's at? I have a pretty good idea, I think.
So
I think this person's making a few $100,000 a year in personal income.
Yeah.
Like 200, 300. They're not post-economic, but they're doing well. So they've got a business that's spitting off a few million.
I would say, they're probably in the
5 million, 10 million, something like that.
sub 15, but nice cash flow.
Right. And they're doing well. They probably they're starting to stack some of their own cash and people were wanting to put. All right. So that's where I think they are.
Well, and beyond the cash, like they have some level of repeatability if they have opportunities consistently coming.
Exactly.
That's
they might have a personal brand or something. Yeah. I don't know who this was. This was an anonymous person. What's your answer to this, Nick? Because I think you're probably the person who has done more of this than any of us.
I had a hard conversation with Michael at Ketone IQ. Michael was like, I've been on this. Michael's going to have
Ketone IQ is HVMN, right?
Yes. They are just trying to solve the 5-hour energy shot, but better. Like, or just this. That's all we're doing. I'm like,
that's good. That's good focus. They didn't used to have that much focus.
No, they were like,
yeah.
So very straightforward. And he was like, how do you do it? I was like, I've always been this way. From the beginning of the day one, whether I had financial means or no financial means, I've found that doing more things similar to what I've already been doing, and it's not super polar opposite of what I've done, allows me to be my best in those areas in which I'm trying to execute on.
So for again, give me like a hard example.
So we have structured, constant, lucid, conference roundtable, breeze, and then like the other things that I can't name.
These are all, those are 5 companies that you are publicly a part of.
Those are 5 companies that I'm publicly a part of that have upside and incentives for it to do well. And for all of them, I can say with my whole heart, I deliver what I'm expected to deliver for all of them.
Yeah.
That's hard to say. Sometimes you're like, I know I'm dropping the ball over
I think
here.
that's what it is. That's what I don't do. I don't think. I think that when I get involved in, there's some tipping point for me when I get involved in too many things where I do not deliver at the level I
should
want.
be doing.
Yeah.
And at that point, as soon as you feel any fault to that, so why that happens is we have Shauna that's full-time on Nick in life, and then we have Kiana that's full-time on opportunities and businesses.
And these are your assistants.
These are full-time assistants that are fully funded, that are in charge of these areas. Because if you want to do multiple things, you can't be the quarterback of everything. And you can be the quarterback of one thing, but that's where the most of time and effort. And as you both know, I have a lot of time going into one core area.
Yeah.
But the other things still have to continue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for that to happen, you have to be a partner in things. B, you can't own everything. And C, the people around you are highly incentivized to make sure that you can continue to produce.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that infrastructure around you, person we're speaking to, you have to be very, very important. You have to be very clear on where you want your actual time and effort to go to, because other things will drop if nobody else is able to facilitate them not dropping.
Okay, so that is how you juggle. What? Okay, Bart, you don't juggle.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so maybe just make the case for not juggling.
Well, I think
Is the case for not juggling just don't do it?
Grant and I always talk about this because his dad says it, but like the worst opportunity is a missed opportunity. So like, I think you still got to look at everything and gauge whether you can add value and whether it'll add value to your life.
Yeah.
But I am like, EJ makes fun of me for this, but I say no proudly to so many things. And like, I took a leap like last year and helped build a blank t-shirt brand for a company that makes all the apparel for Walmart. And it was sick. It was like, all right, we want you to make a $19 t-shirt that is like Viore quality.
Yeah.
And go for it. Like here's all the tools, go for it. And I built it for a year, but then Dad Gang was growing at such a rapid pace that I was just like, I feel like I'm not growing this brand. Like you said, like I'm probably dropping the ball because this brand, my own brand is growing so much that like my focus can't go to both parts right now. And so I gave it to some great operator friends. I was like, I'm going to leave, but I'm handing it off to somebody that'll grow it more with more focus. So I don't know. I really love honing in on one thing and putting everything into it.
Yeah.
It's a little risky of like, don't put all your eggs in one basket type of mentality. But at the same time, I'm like, we've been blessed enough, the three of us that own Dad Gang, to get this opportunity. So like for some reason, even from like a higher power being, I'm like, lean into it.
Yeah.
Like you've been given this, you've tried so many things, just go for it. And I don't know, worst that could happen is like falls apart and you go get a job again, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm just going to invest all my energy into it.
Yeah, it's super simple. I feel I'm not good at this, but here's my take on like the ways that I've failed to do this, juggle opportunities, or assess what I should and shouldn't do. I think that the thing you should think about at any given time is that you're going to be T-shaped on your opportunities. So think of a T and then invert it, put that T on its head, right? So it's on the ground. So that the base, that like top of the T, represents all the opportunities or all the things that you're kind of like doing, quote unquote. And then that like the middle part of the T is whatever one is just the main one you're focusing on. And I think that's really how it's going to look. It's not going to look like a V, or like a pyramid or whatever, where it's like, oh, I focus this much on this one and a little less on this one and a little less, or you're not going to be able to evenly focus on everything. I think that the way you should think about any kind of like assessing an opportunity, like I'm already successful, I'm doing this thing, should I just stay focused on this thing, or should I like, I'm assessing opportunities and there's like more opportunities than I can take advantage of. The good frame to probably use is like at any given time, I'm really only going to think about one, right? So, and I'm like, the gauge is your shower thoughts. When you're in the shower, like what's the problem you're thinking about solving? That's the opportunity. That's like the T part of your T shape. And everything else, if you have to be able to just be transparent with people who want to do that with you, or, with that idea, and say, will that idea work without it being the T one, or does it need all of my focus in order for it to work?
It usually doesn't.
I think that's your point.
That's the challenge, though. Is like most people believe that you only have so much to give.
Yeah.
And it's not true. Like we as humans, unless there's a reason why we should be working hard for all the things, the why in the things that you're doing has to be worth it, or you won't work as hard as you need to be.
Yeah.
You're saying like you can only go deep on one thing, and this is what you felt for the way you operate.
This is what I do poorly, I think. Is being clear that I can only ever go deep on one thing.
I think people feel like you need to give your 100% to everything that you do. I think this is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I don't think, and look, there's a difference between saying 100% of my time, effort, and interest, because you're like everything. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. We've heard this all their life. You show up to training, you work your heart off. So you show up to the game and work your ass off. Right? We always know this thing.
Yeah.
You could be 100% of the 5% that you're able to allocate towards this one thing, and that is enough to continue to get that project forward.
Yeah.
Or contribute positively to the collective group.
This is
I've lived this. I've seen this, and a lot of people that I try to pull in this path is something that you have more dynamicness inside of you, that the influence of you leaning into the person that's owning the core thing is just as valuable as just all of you.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to lead into that.
And just to kind of like use a more crystallized example here, if you think of somebody like one of the Paul brothers, like Logan Paul, how much time you think he's thinking about or spending on Prime? Not much, very little.
Yeah.
Besides him picking it up and pitching it.
There's a whole team behind it too.
Yeah. But does he deliver 100% of the value that he's expected to? Yes.
Most likely, yeah.
And how does he do that? By thinking about his main thing, which is his personal brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
So like
it all comes back to like, why is this person being here? Why are you involved in this thing?
Yeah, it almost is like the T thing should be the thing that serves the other things. I'm clarifying this in real time, but like, for example, it's like Prime benefits by Logan Paul mostly thinking about his personal brand, and he's able to deliver the value that he's expected to. He's able to do everything they expect him to do and deliver the value that they need and more by just focusing on the one main thing.
Yeah.
That's the T part of it. Or like even whatever he's fights, WWE or whatever he's in. It's like, what's the main value he provides the WWE? Focusing on his personal brand and then showing up for his matches. You know what I mean? Like his fitness or like working out. It's like, yeah, part of your personal brand has always been that you're like a pretty big jack dude. Right. So it's like, I think that is maybe what you're saying, that like, if you can provide 100% of the value that you're expected to provide to the opportunity by still focusing on your main thing, then it might be worth it.
Well,
but if it's like, oh, this is like another thing where I have to like generate value that is separate from the main thing, that's where it's really going to get dicey.
That's when you really have to start making real decisions around how much can I take on. I think on Bart's is like what we just told before we went on, like you should consider it. Like if you can provide value and it makes you happy and you can do it at a respectable energy effort for a compensation, you should do that. You should probably do that.
Or to your point, if it will cycle. So for you do some other little things that like maybe doing your main thing doesn't help provide value to those, but doing those other little things actually helps provide value to your main thing.
Correct.
So as long as you can keep them on that flat part of the T, they actually help you get deeper on the one thing and better at the one thing.
Totally. So even for this is like, if you have opportunities.
So when you're assessing the opportunities, I think that's the frame, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if it can benefit the main thing, consider it. And I think if it can progress along with the right amount of involvement, I think you consider it.
Even like trying to give more value to this guy. So you just listed off like 7 things. Let's get like more technical. Does your calendar have like
literal time?
Breeze, this company, like time blocks in it?
Oh yeah.
So that you can like for, say it's an hour, erase the thoughts of all those other companies, go deep, and then, 30 minutes gap. And then this is only this company. And your week is like this really good time management.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I live and die by it.
Yeah.
It's ruthless.
And he works the same way I work.
You should pop up like a blurred screenshot of your calendar.
Like my Monday and Tuesdays.
I have access to his calendar, but I can't see what the actual things are. I should screenshot that. I should take a screenshot.
Yeah, or like even
and we should
it's all
overlay
blocked.
it.
Yeah, he can. Be like, what are these? What are these?
Because like even my wife and I now use Skylight at the house, and it's like my meetings are on there, kids stuff is on there, dad gang meetings are on there.
Your one meeting you do a month is on there.
It's on there, but it's like this is on there. It's just I don't know. Shout out to Skylight, I guess, but it Just sponsor us.
They are crushing it. They're a good DTC
No,
brand.
but
I know.
but those time blocks and like that organization is so important. And I think like that question needs that value because you can take on opportunities. Next thing you know, you're doing 6 things and then you're just overwhelmed by all of those 6 things.
So another thing I've realized about it, like a very tactical thing, value to give this person is like, you operate this way. And I never realized that you were operating this way until recently. You have a lot of calls, right? So it's calls, and people are like, how do you do that many calls? How do you ever do deep work? And what I realized recently is I'm like, oh, I like calls because it's the best way to do deep work.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
It's thought. It's actually not just call.
It's thought. And it's like, okay, if we're on this call for an hour or whatever, and we need to just be silent for 10 minutes while you grab that information or while I look into something really quick, like that call is a working session where I'm like, for this hour, I'm fully locked in on whatever we're doing for the checkout. You know what I mean? Because we're on the, like, I can't just get distracted by Slack. I can't, because we're here. You know what I mean? And so I've been telling like vendors lately and stuff like that. It's like, hey, this call that we have, pretend that you need everything from me right now. Like, pretend I'm not going to follow up at all. If you Slack me, I won't respond. What do you need? Right. And it's been so helpful. It's like I actually block my communication into those calls. Not everybody likes calls, so you maybe have to work with people or whatever. But like, I've noticed that like for you, and works for me as well, the time blocking mechanism you use is not only do you time block, but you also make it a call. Because if you just time block something for deep work, there's a good chance that you do get distracted or that you work on something else that's just on your mind right now. You know, and it's like this other thing's top of mind. So I'm going to look at that really quick. Pretty soon you got 15 tabs open. You're working on 4 different things. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you're like on a call with someone, you're like, well, I can only work on the thing they're asking me about. Right.
You'd be surprised. It's like very specific. Like Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, there's a flavor there. Thursdays and Fridays, there's a flavor there. And then depending on what happens, like every weekend for the last month and a half, I've been gone Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Really? It'll be 2 months. I've been gone during the week.
Yeah.
I've gone for half of the week every Thursday, Friday, and I've missed 0 calls, 0 objectives, 0 expectations, 0 leadership calls. I couldn't tell you that last year. I cannot tell you that.
That's impressive.
If I were to say what the kind of like really high level skill that super wealthy people or like high value people I know have, it is that they're good at this. They're good at knowing whether they're a focused person or whether they're like a multi-opportunity person. And they're good at like framing it correctly for themselves and like distributing their effort correctly. And like, they're good at like optimizing around their own self. You know what I mean? Like, like Bart optimizes around his own self by being like, I got no calls. I just like work on dad gang. And you're like, I've got only calls. And that's what allows me to work on all of these different opportunities by minimizing my role, being clear about what my role can be, and then blocking it into like, I have to focus because we're on a call, right?
Oh, dude.
I think like we could talk about reverse engineer the call thing.
Yeah. You two are opposites, but you're both good at this skill of like, what style am I? Am I like a focus everything on one person or a multiple things person? And like, how do I do that best?
Yeah. Even I was like going back to like who you listen to. I've just been like Gary V loyalist since like 2008, just watching his stuff. And
R.I.P. Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, but I like his content, but yeah.
But I will say, I saw a video the other day of him talking about time management. He's like, I'm fighting for my life for 15 minutes, you know, just to get like a 15 minute meeting.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just kind of like, you know, imagine having like the time management stack behind that calendar. But he's got a whole Vayner empire behind it, so I'm sure that helps.
Yeah. He's not in charge of his time anymore. He's like, Nick's like halfway there. He's only half in charge of his time. Actually, crazy. You're what, 30% in charge of your time?
I'll tell you this. There's a point where I want to get to where I have to check one place and the whole day is updated. The whole day is fully, agendas are there, context is there, expectation of time is there. I know to the length of the call what the expectation is for me on that call across every company. I think that's really crazy.
Yeah. I think an app is a good play when you're more in the phase of like, how do we maximize retention marketing, you know, or when you're starting to get into the phase of community. For Royo, we could build an incredible community, but right now we just don't have the infrastructure to support it. Like we don't have a community manager, stuff like that. App is probably a good step for us where it's like, we don't need a community manager there, but it would be just an additional place for people to hang out. What else? What do you put? Like, let's talk app tactics. things that you do to drive revenue through the app, or things that make the app worth it to you? The ways that you feel it drives incremental revenue you wouldn't already be getting.
Yeah.
Hit me with some of those.
Yeah, I think for one, Fuego's awesome because when you're sending a notification to somebody's phone,
Mhm.
it's getting in there directly. I mean, success rate has to be 100% pretty much of
Yeah.
getting that little red notification on their phone.
And it
And
pushes. So that push notification is free. That's a big thing. So
yeah,
you
it
text
is.
somebody, it costs money every time you text somebody. Email somebody, it's a much smaller amount. But it costs like a push notification is free. If they opt into push notifications.
Yeah. And the other thing, Fuego was a lot less than any competitor that builds you an app. That was the
Mhm.
other thing I was afraid of, was like an app. Oh my gosh, that's so much dev work and working with developers and so much time. And then when I heard of Fuego from a friend, he explained that his app was live in like 3 days. So I talked to Rafi over there, and he's like, "Yeah, just give me like a general outline of what you want the design to be." And I told him, go look at our website. There's not that many complexities. And we worked on like just a quick, simple design concept, and his team had it whipped up really quickly. And we were live, I think, within like, you have to do some like app dev and Android dev certifications at first, which is just through Android and Apple, has nothing to
Mhm.
do with the app.
Yeah.
So that takes a little bit of time, but I think we were live in like, the app was live and ready to go within like 5 days from when we met.
Nice. Should I get on TikTok Shop? I sell women's jewelry between $30 and $50 and $250.
Yes. Next question.
Thanks, Gary.
That's the whole question. Okay, so first, play the game. What level you think they are?
Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Yes. Next question.
Low level.
You think they're low level?
Yeah. If they don't know that answer, then I would say so. It's women's
Nick?
jewelry. Like that is the channel.
Yeah, getting up and running. Like
I think so too.
You're like,
I think
they
they're not
just popped
getting.
Etsy.
I think they're not getting traction on Meta. Is
Yeah.
probably the level
Yeah.
they're at, and they're being like, should I be on Google? Should I be on TikTok Shop? Should I do influence? They're trying to
There's
figure out
certain products that
trying
just
to find the magic
scream
bullet channel.
like TikTok shops, and that's one of them. Live selling is like the biggest thing right now, and I mean, women's jewelry live selling is happening all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That actually is.
I hope they
next
were looking
question.
for a quick answer, 'cause that's
higher
what I
level
have.
brands still ask channel questions, but how do they do it? It's different.
There you go. What is the incremental lift I'm going to get by cracking this?
Oh yeah, I have a good one.
Yeah.
I worked with Zip Fizz, which is like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the first energy powders ever.
Yeah.
Legacy brand, been around forever. Costco, Walmart, everything.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, should we send emails? And this was like a few years ago.
You're like, yes, next
Because they're
question.
cracking into D2C and like want to be sold online, and their founders are like big legacy, just
Retail.
Yeah.
traditional.
So like,
and,
tell me about this
email,
electronic mail.
sitting on millions of dollars, and they're like, but it's funny because you get into those calls and they're like, well, we do actually still want people going to Costco, so let's
Legacy.
not send them away from Costco because we need them to come to the website, but not for this product, just the variety pack. And it's just kind of like this crazy mix, but you do get those big, like kind of elementary questions
Yep.
that for us, it's like, duh, be on TikTok shops, but
Yeah.
maybe this is like, Tiffany's or something, like it's some big legacy company that's afraid of appearing on TikTok shop.
Yeah, well, I've seen that before. They think it'll damage the brand. I've got this. All right. So when I get you help me clarify. You help me clarify something there.
Thanks, Gary.
Everybody, thank you, Gary. People who didn't watch if they didn't catch your name at the beginning, they're just gonna start thinking your name's Gary.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so people who ask a channel question are almost always asking a question of like, they're almost always in a place of pain, not in a place of abundance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that true in your experience?
Yeah.
More often.
I would
maybe
say
every now
no,
and then.
but Yeah. Okay.
Maybe every now and then they're like, oh, we're killing it. Should we go kill it over here too? But usually it's like, we're not getting what we want out of our current channel.
So what can I do?
Yeah. And so their question, this happened actually, the main way that happens, it manifests with like bigger brands is they get on calls with me at Triple Whale or Now, or they'd be like, yeah, cool. So what is, and then I'd like give them advice on how to improve their Meta ads or their Google ads, or like, oh, like you could use this, like improve your offer or whatever, or here's how you should know how much to spend. And And they'd be like, yeah, cool. So what else? What else? And after a few what else's, what I realized they were asking was like, hey, what's the magic bullet channel that gives me a super high ROI with super high scale, but nobody knows about and is talking about? And I'm like, well, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If that existed, everybody would know about it and be talking about it, right?
Yeah.
That channel wouldn't be keeping that a secret.
That's probably how AppLovin started.
Right. Yeah.
That's like what people
AppLovin was
felt.
like that at first. Yeah. And then now it's kind of like more of a middling channel for a lot of brands. So usually they're not getting what they want out of their current channels. So they're asking like, should we go over here? Or should we do that? And they're asking at the higher level, they're asking a opportunity cost question. Should we put resource into this?
Yeah.
Is the upside worth it? Knowing that we may take focus away from this other thing, now that you have the context that this other thing isn't providing us what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't have any traction at all, it's the same thing. It's just that the other thing, you don't have any. So I have really two different answers. My answer is if you're getting traction somewhere else, then most likely you should just get better at that. Like 8 times to 9 times out of 10, you should probably just get better at that.
Yep.
Unless you're highly confident you cannot get any better at that, then you should go find another channel. But don't like half-ass it. You should do like one new channel at a time and get very, very good at it, especially if it's TikTok Shop, because that's kind of this multifaceted channel. If you're new, then you should kind of like look for the path of least resistance to traction. You know what I mean? Like if I need to get to where I'm selling profitably. Yeah, it might be on Google. It might be on Meta. So you should do them one at a time chronologically, but like you can switch around a little bit more and try and find your spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Answer is yes.
Cool.
Yes, the answer is yes. Next question. Are you making sure that you're getting every bit of profit out of every purchase on your site? A big thing I've been thinking about lately as the cost to advertise goes up is how do I maximize the value of a customer? And so there's really two things. I want to maximize their average order value when they are making a purchase on my site. I also want to maximize the repeat purchase rate and the speed of the repeat purchase rates. So a big thing people don't think about is how quickly their customers are repeat purchasing. They're thinking about how many of them are repeat purchasing, but not how quickly. Recently, I've been using Redo's post-purchase order tracking tool to make cross-sells on my order tracking page. So that means when I send the order tracking link to my customers, I'm making cross-sells on that page and they're getting product recommendations on that page. Now, this is pretty big because that order tracking email, that is one of your most clicked emails. So that is prime real estate. You got to be using that real estate to make cross-sells and make offers. Most people think of Redo as a return software, but they're actually sort of this all-around post-purchase platform. They're there to help you maximize profit from your past customers, period. The post-purchase experience is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I actually made a checklist. It's a 10-point checklist of the 10 things I do to maximize value from a customer after the purchase. You can grab that in the link below this video. If you're on YouTube, you can click below to grab that. Or if you're on an audio platform, you can of course grab it in the show notes. Just tap down there and you can get my 10-point checklist for maximizing post-purchase profit. That is an excellent alliteration. Let's get back to the show. I've heard you, this is a consulting client of mine.
Okay. I've heard you yap about.
I've heard you yap about this. Heard you talk about attacking the biggest problem in the business. What if there is no biggest problem, but a bunch of little things? Do you agree that the most important thing for like a founder or operator to do at any time is focus as much of their effort as possible on the biggest constraint in the business?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah. For the most part. Yeah. Okay.
I would categorize these.
Yeah. So that's usually the advice I give is that it's like any effort that you give not to this biggest constraint of the business is 50% impact effort. Like think of it as halftime. Any hour you spend not working on this is like you spent 30 minutes, right? And so they're like, okay, interesting frame. And so then their question then is like, what if it's just a bunch of little things though?
We're in that moment now where it's like, what is the most important thing that Aaron or I need to work on? Fundraising.
Yeah.
Right? But we still have all the little problems that are happening.
Yeah.
Black Friday, offer creation. Its biggest problem, and then it's categorized into revenue generation, revenue preservation, and like operational excellence. If biggest problem will fall into these different categories, but hopefully if it falls into revenue generation, that is the most important. New money keeps it's the lifeline of all things operating.
Yeah.
So I think that the categorization of can I get more money if I do this big problem or these little problems, focus time and effort there. Can I save us some money? Might be some conversations, might be a different tool, might be some negotiations, might be a cleaning of something. then I want to go there ongoing. And then if there's a way that I can operationalize or make something smoother within the business, then I go there. And so that's the categorization of the mini problems prioritization.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess that just to clarify, we didn't play the game here, but I think it's pretty clear that like, if you only really have this problem if you've gotten to a certain level.
You're stable.
Like, you're stable if it's like, oh, there's just a bunch of little kind of day-to-day problems here and there. Like if you're not doing well, you can very clearly identify the biggest problem.
Oh, my offer's cracked. Or like, oh my,
Yeah.
no leads, no
Yeah, I don't have
repurchase rate.
enough people buy. Yeah, it's like it's very clear what the biggest problem
Yeah,
is.
this
and you're
guy's
not doing
saying
well.
he has no big problems and just little things to fix.
I would actually,
You're like,
honestly,
Then yeah, fix the little things.
dude, what I would do is I would jack up spend.
Yeah.
I would be like, all right, like what can I break?
That's
what
actually,
can I
you're
redline?
really in a good spot.
Yeah,
Just-
You segued right
I
into
would create a problem.
You segued right into my answer.
Honestly,
I have
bro.
no problems. I need to make one.
You
Good.
segued right into my answer, which is if you can't clearly identify the biggest constraint in the business, then all you need
Start
then
fucking
you need to
twisting
just
knobs, dude.
add zeros. Yeah, add zeros
Honestly,
to it.
dude. Like,
And
think about this.
then the biggest constraint
Next day,
will
hey
reveal
guys, we got a
itself.
big problem.
Yeah,
on our
because
hands.
guess what this uncovers?
What
oh
it
my
is?
god, it worked.
Where is our bottleneck?
And then you're like, oh my god, our creative isn't working, or like, oh my god, now we can't
customer
fulfill
service.
it.
We don't have enough customer
my God.
service.
Yeah,
we
you
can't fulfill it.
literally-
So your supply constraint. So
Yeah.
honestly, actually, this is probably, if you're asking this question, it's probably a signal that you're supply constrained. Because why aren't you jacking up the business or scaling it more? It's probably because you know you can't fulfill it, or you
Yeah.
don't have enough customer service, and it's like, oh, you're supply constrained, and so that's actually the biggest. The biggest problem's hidden. You think it's all these other little things, but the biggest problem is that actually you're like leaving money on the table by not being able to fulfill it. I would guess, yeah. For the
Well,
most part.
dude, this is such a good question because you're like,
Yeah.
if even like how do I frame this to my team? I go, we have core things that we're always working on, but our core job is to uncover the things that are the most broken.
Yeah.
I want you to uncover the things that are broken so that we can put it on the list of prioritization of when should we attack this problem. It's Q4. I'm not trying to, perfect example, I'm not trying to migrate subscription platforms. You know what I mean? Like, I do think we should address it. I think we should look at the portal. I think we should look at the experience. I think we should look at the onboarding. Yeah, I love that. Not now. We ain't doing this now. So that might be,
Right.
They need to be able to identify ongoing problems, but we don't got to address it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a good point. If you've got a bunch of little problems, you do have a biggest constraint. You're just not identifying it. Is probably the short answer.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Took a turn.
All right. Last one. I think that's a higher level question for sure. That person's
Great question.
Last question, guys. This is a quicker episode. That's fun though. How do you find winning products and ad angles? That's two different questions.
Ooh, okay. This is
Let's do
tactical.
just winning products.
I find
And let's do ad
yeah.
angles on a different episode.
We look for winning products every time we drop a new product, pretty much. So, like with us, we say new hats are the lifeblood of our company
Oh yeah.
because we started with just a trucker hat and then introduced another like basic color and just kind of stayed neutral, browns, olives, black and white. And then we talked about this last night, but we have a private Facebook group for our brand where there's a lot of like behind the scenes. I show people like swatches of fabrics that we're working with and stuff, and like literally ask our customers and our like supporters, should we make this? And like I know that's you have to build up to having a Facebook community, and so that part's not like ABC, but it's
Yeah, if
still
you're in the beginning stage, you don't have it.
but even in the beginning, like
Build it publicly.
build it. You're a big proponent of this, and so am I. I'm like, even when I started the brand, I was like,
Yeah.
every step is going to be documented.
Yeah.
And make sure you're showing that, because just by accident, you're going to get feedback on your products. And then, but then I also do small things like a sample will come in. This happened recently. We had a sample come in that none of us liked. It was just like, this hat sucks. But I was like, we have almost 300,000 followers. I'm like, I'm just going to go on Instagram and post it and tell them the truth. Like,
We don't know.
Hey, we don't know about this one. Really don't like it. And what do you guys think? And they're like, drop that shit yesterday and
Wow.
all this stuff.
Crazy.
And then you can't be like, oh, we got 3 comments that said, drop it. Let's make it.
Yeah.
Like if there's enough of, say 100 comments is a good read of like, all right, maybe we should make this one. Your gut feeling said this hat's not that great, but then your customer said
was
you're
good.
wrong. So like try not to listen to yourself too much in a lot of these decisions, because your ego will steer you one way, but your customers will tell you what to do.
I don't know. I'll push back a little.
Yeah.
And I'm actually just pushing back with a question. When you have a brand like yours, Dad Gang,
Yeah.
a lot of it is built based on taste, your taste.
Yeah.
When do you trust your taste versus just saying like my taste says this, but maybe the data says something else? Like some people are very intuitive and just always trust their own taste. That's like the Steve Jobs of the world, right?
Yeah.
And some people are like, I don't want to, I want to remove that. Like always give me the data. And if we don't have the data, then the answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, seems like you're somewhere in between that, but like, are you like 80-20 taste data? What?
Yeah. I mean, we look at, in-stock inventory and how fast certain things sell. So say like our black and white trucker, which is probably like our number one selling hat all time, tells me that dads want pretty basic things, but there is like a more, like loud crowd that wants flames on their hats or neon colors and stuff.
Camo. Yeah.
Or camo or Buc-ee's, like different things. But it's three of us. So like it's not just my suggestions. It's like Grant will be out at a baseball tournament with his kids and he'll see some dads wearing some different hats, or he'll notice a trend in baseball uniforms or things people are wearing. And then EJ works, in operations, but he's also involved in like different trends for drinkware because he works with Mir, a drinkware company. So he's like,
hold on. One of your co-founders still has just like a day job?
oh yeah, he's a robot. Yeah. No,
Okay.
We're just always like bringing examples to the table of things we think might do well. Then we all kind of decide, should we make this? And then we have the luxury of being like, let's just make 200 of these, engage it. And then if the sellout is they're gone in 2 hours that day, then but go and make more and use that demand to make the customers, unfortunately, have to wait for manufacturing to catch up. But yeah, it's a mix. I don't always think like, oh, I know what 300,000 dads want,
Dude, we're the opposite on this.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, let me answer this question first. The question was, how do you find winning products? Do you think this is a big business question or a little business question?
It's a little business question.
I think it's a bookend. It's either like you haven't found traction at all, or you're like really big.
Even AG1.
Yeah.
Even AG1 launched two brand new products.
Yep.
And there was I dug as deep as I possibly could to find out where they're doing the research, where they're getting it. And like outside of a couple of, unless they had back-end data brokers that were giving them things, they launched this going like, this is a trend that we are going to continue to pioneer. 2 SKUs, AGZ, trying to get you guys to understand that there's more to this other than just greens. We have one flavor, one effect. It's kind of crazy. Majority, how do you win in beverage? Single effect, multi-flavor.
Yeah.
So when we can't even get real testing or samples out of it, because it's like, do you love this because of the flavor? Do you love this because of the effect? Do you love this because of the ingredient? There's so many variables in this. And I even say, arguably, we still don't know how to sell that perfectly.
Flow?
Yeah. It's like, when do I drink that? Do I drink it at 3 p.m.? Do I drink it because I want an energy drink? Do I drink it out when I'm going out to the club? Do I drink this in the morning?
During a podcast?
Do I drink it during am I doing it because I want to be a knowledge worker? Like, there's a lot of varieties and usage of this. And in the testing of it, when you're able to move with speed and drop this from a patch standpoint, from a sticker standpoint, from a hat standpoint, from a sock standpoint, right? We did this with pup socks. You can get things up and running so quick. And is it the ability for it to be like, this is a winning product, or is it ability of you having really good ways of forcing this into the ether?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that with product development, you lean into your advantage. So let's start, because we think that there's a possibility that the person that asked this question is like maybe pre-revenue or like very early traction or something like that. Okay. So let me start there and like frame it that way. If somebody's asking, how do you find winning products? Like, are you like a drop shipper or something like that? There's really, as far as I see it, only 3 ways to find like, what is my product that I sell? And that is, you're either the buyer of it, like you're in the market of people who would buy it, so you understand them and you understand the gap in the market.
Okay.
You are somebody who already works in that industry, so you have inside information, or you have a skill set that aligns with selling that particular product, right? So you professionally kind of already sell that product, or you professionally do something that will help you sell that product. So I think it really only comes from like, basically, it comes from some level of knowledge of being in the market or knowledge of the market. Right. And so that's it. Like when people are like, I'm looking for a product to sell, and I don't know, it seems like women's shapewear is on trend. Should I get into women's shapewear? I'm like, well, are you a woman who would like to be more shaped? And they're like, no, I'm a dude. And I'm like, okay, so have you ever worked in women's shapewear or like women's fitness apparel or anything like that? And they're like, no, I'm a plumber. I'm like, I don't think you should get into women's shapewear.
Yeah.
You know, like because, and we know actually some people, there was a phase of e-commerce, and the reason people get misled is because there was a phase of e-commerce where that did happen. We know some founders who have relatively successful businesses selling in a product category they just know nothing about. They weren't in that before, and they are not in the market. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was a phase of e-commerce where you could do that. But I think e-commerce has matured enough now to where it's like most other businesses, where it's like you got to be in this in some way.
Oh yeah.
To make a product work.
Well, that's an Aaron thing. Like Aaron is the product, and like I can't pretend to be founder CEO of a product that like I'm great at selling and understand it, but I'm not going to pretend to be like I'm about that life yet. I want to be, and we're trying to be like, you're in this life. Yeah. Right. Like you're in the bread life. Like you're learning bread.
Big bread guy.
You're not a brand. You're not a founder, but man, you have opinions about bread, and that's way important for what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. You've got to have like opinions on this. You got to understand where the gaps in the market are. So that's how you find your initial. And so if you're like kind of trying to find trends, if you're more of a trend hunter, you've got to be kind of a veteran, like a very savvy business person, to be just like a heartless trend hunter, where you're just selling stuff that you don't have any attachment to.
If I was to go super tactical on this, like we call it the smoke test. We've yapped about this plenty of times before. Yeah, we used to win on. They call it a general e-com stores. Like you'd just sell to a product page. You have eyelashes, you have lights, you have dog shit, you have all this other stuff randomly. Yeah. And all it is like I have
we've never sold dog shit.
Stuff.com.
Dude, I've sold some ridiculous things.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're responsible for fidget spinners.
And so you basically put it on the website. You have long form video, short form video, tall image, short image, bold text, call it across the main reasons why you'd use it, and you just set it live. Yeah, to a PDP that looks like everything else. Mm-hmm. And then you just like, can I get a couple conversions? Dude, Steve Tan, you remember the Tan brothers at all? Does this ring a bell? Yeah. These guys had the largest, and we were deep in the space. These guys would launch between 50 to 100 products a day. What? A day. Mm-hmm. Same structure, same strategy, automated. This is before we had AI, before we had any of these tools. These dudes were doing numbers that you would never imagine. Hundreds of millions of dollars around products that you're like, you're kidding me.
Yeah, straight from China or something?
Straight from China.
They launch 100 products a day, to 1 or 2 work, and they make over the next month they make 100,000 on that product.
All in.
And then that product dies down because other people start chasing that trend. Yeah. You could do this on Etsy. So if you want to do like a POD, print on demand business or whatever, you could launch 100 products a day on Etsy, another 100 print on demand things a day on Etsy.
Yeah, because they don't physically exist until you.
Yeah. And I mean, with AI, you could probably do more. You could probably launch 1,000 a day.
Honestly,
right?
And if it's just print and stuff, and at that end, that fulfillment.
Yeah. So but what you're doing there is you're not necessarily. You're just like, that's just an arbitrage opportunity. So always. I guess the question is, do you want an arbitrage opportunity or do you want a business? If you want an arbitrage opportunity, then you need just do a bunch of volume of something, you know? So
because right now I feel like if you're looking for winning products, I would actually, so let's spin this question to what makes a winning product? What would be a winning product in our opinions now? And if we weren't running and building the business,
if I was just starting out,
correct.
Something that made me money.
I'll start with like, I think that it has to have an LTV. It has to have some sort of like consumption behavior of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think higher AOV products are the way to go. I think the sweet spot is 60 to 150, or you have volume at 30 to 40 bucks. Yeah. And I think those are the only way you really are able to make this work, because it's still, you don't want to have enough money being outlaid that you have to talk to your partner about or feel guilty about spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is usually sub 150.
I would, I mean, if it were me, I would. The reason I haven't launched a brand is because I don't really want an arbitrage opportunity. I want a business. And if I were building a business, I would be looking for a product that had LTV.
Had to, yeah.
So that would be, in most cases, apparel or something consumable. Mm-hmm. So that could be food and bev, that could be a supplement, that could be beauty or whatever. I'm not really into beauty, so I wouldn't go into beauty. But I could do apparel, I could do some kind of like food and bev product or a supplement. Yeah. And I just haven't really seen like what I want. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like why I haven't started something, even though I have the skill set. If I were just looking for an arbitrage opportunity, then I would look for products that are super demonstrable and advertisable, and I would launch as many of them as possible at very low testing levels, and anything that like gave me profit, I would pour more money into. So it'd be just anything that makes me money.
Yeah, for me, I'll be a little biased, but I think something that changes the narrative and creates a community at the same time.
Yeah.
So like even Ridge, for instance, they changed the narrative of the structure of a wallet. You know, basic trifolds or card slider, whatever things like.
Yeah.
And then they created like a hardcore community of like, I have a Ridge wallet. I don't do the bulky wallet thing.
So the example for Dad Gang is?
Yeah, for us, it's like the narrative of Dad's Online was just goofy, mowing the lawn, dad bod stuff, and shitty hats, like really frumpy, just collapsing hats. And
there is dad hats, like that is.
That old style. And so it was like, let's change the narrative of what fatherhood is. It's not comedy all day. And let's change the quality of the actual dad hat per se. Yeah. And can we create like a really good following behind all of this? We didn't start out like that. We just made 100 hats, but like that's what happened. And I think if you can, like Ridge is doing a great job creating community around that specific type of wallet. Yeah. They changed the narrative of what your standard wallet looks like. We did it with hats, and there's other brands that are just taking like the norm. The people you just said, they're changing like how your household filters air. Yeah. Like nobody looked at it that way before. So can you look at normal things that way?
Changing form function. So most air filters are big devices, and Barnacle just puts air
I'm trying to think of one more that like
Grunes. Yeah. The delivery mechanism.
Or create gummies too. I think like really changed how we consume creatine.
Yeah. Everything in a gummy now.
And people seem like they're like cult following.
So I got it, guys. I got it. Well, let's launch a greens. It's a powder, but you sniff it. Greens powder that you sniff. Little bump of greens.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's actually maybe even eye drops.
Yeah, little eye drops, some greens eye drops.
You get to see some stuff and it goes crazy.
Yeah, the community videos around that would be great.
Yeah, I think it has to have community. I think like what the guys do at Cadence make a lot of sense.
Cadence.
Like they make a lot of sense on that. And it's not a represent play, obviously the different brands, but there is this cultural moment, and even us to a degree at the brand side. If you drink our product out and at an event or a party, like you're like, wow, I'm in this environment.
People ask you about it too. They're like, what is that chameleon can you're holding? You know,
man. How did you know that Dad Gang original like black trucker hat was a winning product?
Well, we stuck to like that is the only thing we're gonna make for the next like 6 months.
Okay, but you started with 100 hats.
Yeah,
like literally walk me through.
It's sold out in less than 36 hours.
How? Like how did people hear about it?
The three of us posted on our personal Instagrams.
And you sold the 100 hats just from doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was kind of like an obvious. What?
So that was like a pretty obvious, like there's something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because none of you guys have like a big following at the time. Right?
No, and the like asterisk with that is that was all friends and family. So when you're like selling chocolates for your fundraiser type of feeling.
Yeah. But even still, they didn't have to. Like a lot of people try and sell to friends and family on Instagram and have a hard time with it. So I think when you're selling to friends, so there was a little signal
it was really the second round of hats.
Which was how many?
300.
And then how did you let people know about those ones?
Just the brand's Instagram and our personal one.
Again. And then you sold out again.
30 days later from that initial sellout.
And then you sold out again. And then you're like, there's got to be something here.
Yeah, that's when the signs were kind of like, all right, do that.
What were the brand's initial, what was the initial content like from the brand page? Did you post
portrait mode pictures of our hats?
That's it.
Yeah.
The same hat.
Yes.
So it's just you posted
in
that
different
one hat.
Scenarios.
Okay.
You know, on the porch, in hand, on head.
Yeah, okay.
Little cinematic video so then, backwards.
Then even when you're out of stock and that's starting to gain followers.
Yeah, because eventually.
That's another signal.
Yeah. Eventually when they were sold out, I would run $10 boosts for profile visits.
I heard somebody say once, this was, I've mentioned this person 2 episodes in a row now, Sam Parr, who started The Hustle. He said, at one point I went and hung out at the Snapchat office for one day. And this was in like 2013. And I thought The Hustle was doing well. We were growing really well and stuff like that. And I went and hung out there and I was like, oh, this is what Tailwind feels like. This is what like a product this is what like real product market fit feels like. I think that's what you just described with Dad Gang. Yeah. So if people are like, how do you find winning products? Make 100 of them, sell them. And if it's like that, like you'll feel the tailwind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I think answering this question for a higher level, like 9-figure company, that's hard. Like, what does that look like? What do you think on that? Like, imagine that the person who said this, you're sitting across from me right now, you know I run a 9-figure brand, and I say, how do you find winning products?
This is, you have to go to your data. Like, you can't make a risk. Like, there's too much risk to launch a product that doesn't do well. Now, is it going to happen? Potentially.
Yeah.
But you have to go to your customer base to this level. You really, like, you need the feedback, you need the questions. If you do not do this correctly, because at this size, right, that's taking line time away from anything else that you're selling.
Yeah.
It's taking major resources away from what you're doing because you have to launch this.
Yep.
And if it doesn't do what it says it's going to do, especially at this type of size and this level, it could be retail.
Yeah.
What do you roll this out? And then you just have dead product that doesn't taste good, look good, feel good, whatever anyone wants to buy. That's tough. You have to go data backed.
I think it depends a little who you are. If you're a brand that got to whatever 8 figures or 9 figures, like that sells, let's say, an air filter, not the ones on the fans, but you sell an air filter. All of your value is in first time value. So you're asking this question because you're like, what other product can I develop that's like this one that can, this one's gotten me to 15 million a year, 20 million or 30 million a year, but like I'm hitting the TAM of this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What other, can I build another 10 million like Ridge is doing? All right, we got wallets, now we're building luggage, and they're each their own line of business.
Yeah.
That's kind of a different one than if you're like an apparel brand. You know what I mean? I think if you're an apparel brand, then what you do is you go to your customers, you go to, you do what you do where you're like, hey, here's a style like Facebook group. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Can I preset? Like you can kind of hedge your bets that way if you're an apparel brand. And you're going to have some bad drops. If you're an apparel brand, you should just like kind of say, we're going to have some bad drops. If you're even a food and beverage brand, you do a limited run to start.
Yeah.
A lot of your loyalists will buy it, and that can hedge your bet a little bit that a lot of your loyalists will buy it early on. And then you come up with some benchmarks for like, how well should this do with our loyalists in order for us to think it's like worth pursuing, further.
Wasn't there some weird brand that like, I don't know, months ago, like somebody jumped to fragrance out of nowhere? It was like a brand that made clothing and then
they jumped to fragrance.
Yeah, as a new product, like on top of apparel. I think it was fragrance. And they were just like, everybody's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You got to send me that because it almost feels like when 8 Sleep went into supplements.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I understand why they did that. Yeah. I know what you mean.
And I'm not sure if that was
you get exactly why they did it because you're like, oh, there's no LTV in your business.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you have that product that sells once and then you get into a corner where you're like, okay, we need to introduce something that's repeatable.
Yeah. I've never seen that done successfully though.
Yeah.
Going big.
Oh, On Shoes yesterday announced a subscription to their $30 sneaker.
Well, that was done yesterday. So let's not say it's been done successfully yet.
They did.
No, I just said it's.
No, but let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Like, why do they do that? Like, why do they do that?
Because it takes a long time to buy your second pair of running shoes.
Keep people in the brand much longer.
Is it a worse shoe? Like, is it gonna deteriorate faster?
At $30, I would think so.
Yes, it will. Yeah. You can't produce a running shoe for
because
$30.
a regular On Shoe is like $180.
Yeah.
So you need that customer to come back 6 times to get back to the value of your.
That sounds crazy. Like, how did why?
So it's a $30 per month shoe subscription
Yeah.
per month?
It's going to be
No. It's you run through your shoes
And send it back.
Send it back, get a new pair, exact same pair.
for a year.
Oh yeah, yes. Okay, so in that case, yeah, that's gonna be good for them because people don't run through shoes every 6 months. So right now, their buy time between shoes is more than 6 months.
For sure.
I know the running shoe
Depends
game
on the
well.
like mine's every like 2.5, 3.
Yeah,
you
you're
put
an
miles
outlier.
on
You're an
it.
outlier though.
You're not. Yeah, you're an
You're an outlier though. You do 10 milers at 8-minute pace. That's not most runners.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who buy On shoes, you got to remember they're not buying.
I just
them
wanted to flex that on the pod real quick.
I
Yeah.
bet you. Well, yeah. Actually, I feel like a lot of on people are.
They're just walking in them.
And they do, and they're probably in the.
It's a mom Target shoe.
Yeah.
But it's also like the service workers, like nurses.
Yeah.
and those
Hoka
ones.
and them.
Yep.
But
Yeah, so
I
that-
think
so they
the
will
other
actually
thing
flip.
is
That
like
will
what
actually be good for them.
What happens when you go to re-up on your, like, I don't know, they'll probably hit you with upsells and apparel and all these
I'm
other
sure.
things.
Yeah. I'm sure. Do you want to upgrade on
Some
this one?
loyalty
or-
in that. I think that's
Yeah.
great. That's a great call.
I don't know how successful
I've never
they'll be with
seen
that.
it with footwear.
I don't know
It got
how
a lot of. It got a lot of news.
Yeah, I don't know how successful they'll be, but that is the problem with running shoes is that most people go through them. They're built for like hardcore runners. So if you're not a hardcore runner, you go through it pretty slow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it takes you a long time to get to 500 or 600 miles, which is kind of like the lifespan of it. People say 300 to 500, but most people run them
I feel
600.
like most people don't even know when they get to that place.
Yeah, no, only runners know.
Yeah,
only
you're
runners
tracking my
because you're
mouse.
tracking it. Yeah.
And, dude, sort of like when the big trend was like it was men's skincare, right? Like, how often you buy shampoo, and if you're buying shampoo, how are we buying shampoo?
Oh, I got looped into that one.
In big, like I use.
Why about you buy something that is shampoo, conditioner,
What's the
body
brown
wash,
product that they ran ads like crazy?
face wash,
Making like
you can change your oil with it.
They used a bunch of like 40, 50-year-old men promoting
It's
this.
not Black Wolf. It's
It's spendy too.
It's in, you get it in Target.
No. It was straight D2C only.
Ooh, was it Harry? It wasn't Harry's, was it?
No, it's
Brown.
yeah, brown.
This is
like
really
brown,
great podcasting, not knowing.
brown glass bottle. EJ and I both use it, and we're like
And
loyalists now.
It's in your shower and you don't know what it
Is
is.
it Aesop?
Nope,
Oh wow.
You're not that much of a loyalist. It's sitting in your shower. You see it every day.
dude.
Yeah,
I'll
but
look
you
it
didn't
up.
know what it
I'm
is.
thinking about it. Yeah, you better pull that up.
Okay.
But
Like, hey, babe, will you go into the shower and
No,
tell me-
it'll pop up first thing.
Wait, sorry, you're in the middle of something.
these are the things that you're like, how do you find the next best product? Because no one's buying.
Caldera Lab.
Caldera
I don't
Labs.
know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, I know them. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. They use like their whole angle was like
it's very
I'm-
high end.
I'm getting old, and I won't with this product. And their UGC was so good.
I think
Wow.
was it them or somebody else I was consulting with that
But it's
their
expensive.
their whole thing is that they combat old man smell.
Old man smell.
Who? Caldera?
I don't know if it's Caldera or if it's somebody else I was
That's a
consulting with.
crazy thing.
No, they're like purely like keep you young.
Okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, there was a brand that I was consulting with that they're like, our main USP is that like you get old person smell. Everybody knows you get it. You know it when you're young, and then when you get old, you know it.
At like 70?
Yeah. And there's an
That's a
old person
crazy
smell.
market.
And all of
Okay.
The
all of-
grandpa does have a smell to him.
absolutely old people have a smell. And their whole thing is their ads educate people on what old person smell is and why you get it. I can't remember what the answer is. But then like that it's like part of it is like making people realize like, I'm not crazy. And then also making old people like, yeah, I know about old person smell. I've been worried that I got it. How do I get rid
Your
of
body's
it?
just rotting.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. Like, oh, it's because your body's
the
trying to
inside
die
out.
on you. and
You're on your way out.
And you
You're
keep
fighting
just
it.
living.
Like Botoxing up. You're like,
Yeah.
no, you're not going anywhere, partner.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, but like to wrap this, I think winning products, if you're apparel or consumable, I think no matter what, you look for ways to hedge when you're big, right? So if your apparel or consumable, you try and like pre-launch it, get a feel for it, right?
Mhm.
If you're hard goods like Ridge Wallet or luggage or something like that, then you maybe ask yourself the question of like, how could I sell half of my initial run to my pre-existing audience so that I can test ads on the other half? And then that way I can cover my invoice for it. And then if the ads don't work, I only lose kind of what I lose on that, and I can liquidate it over time or whatever. Or a Kickstarter. Kickstarter is not a bad way if you're hard goods either.
I know you wrapped it on that one, but you can
go
also
ahead.
put it as upsells. Like you can also
Yep.
put it in other places in the funnel where
You can do it
you
free
can
gifts. Yep.
lower the prices. You can use it as the incentive. Like it won't go to zero. You'll find ways to make it worth something or
Yeah.
sell what you've already been selling.
Yeah. So I mean, short answer is find a way. If you're a bigger brand, is find a way to hedge, and then that's it. Really. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. That was it. That's a wrap. Follow our socials. If you watched the last episode and you liked it, and then you liked this episode, now you should subscribe.
But if you just saw this episode and you liked it,
Wait another episode.
until the next one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's our
Okay,
pitch
guys.
for subscribing. I like that. Peace.